Hi everyone, and welcome to week 10 of our Hometown Charm Sew Along, hosted by Pat Sloan at her website, ilovetomakequilts.com. This week, we're looking at the town library. It's the centre of town, it's a special place. Let us know in the comments below what your town library meant to you. If you haven't done so already, jump over to Pat's website, download this week's free pattern, come back here, and I'll show you how to do it. This week, folks, no tips, tricks, or anything different to the pattern. As you can see here, I do have all my pieces cut. We have two separate sizes of light and medium, and we have 3 squares of the dark fabric. Put all of the smaller size squares aside, take the medium squares, and we're going to make half square triangles with the rest of that fabric. To make the half square triangles, we need to draw a diagonal line, corner to corner, on the back of all of the medium squares, pair them with the light and dark squares, take them to the machine, sew 1/4 of an inch on each side of our drawn line, cut them down on the drawn line in the middle, press and trim. I will link to another video where I do the half square triangle 2 at a time, separately and slowly, in the top right hand corner of the screen, and also in the description below. Let's sew. Just while I'm pressing here, folks, I'd like to take a moment to ask you to please like my video, share it with a friend, click the subscribe button, and make sure you turn on the bell to be notified of all future updates. It's now time to trim down all our half square triangles to the size as indicated in your pattern. I always do this 2 at a time, and as you can see me doing here, I'm butting the edges together to make sure that I have those seams nested. I'm placing the diagonal line from my square 6.5 inch ruler on the stitching line, and I'm making sure that I have enough fabric outside of my required measurement before trimming 2 sides. I will then rotate the block around, once again line up the diagonal line on the ruler with the stitching line. This time you can place the required measurement on the outside edges, making sure you maintain that diagonal, and trim the remaining 2 sides. all of our half square triangles now trimmed down to the correct size, we actually have all of the pieces that we need to construct this block. If you refer back to your pattern directions for layout, you can see me doing that here now. And then I am actually going to piece this as 4 separate 4-patch units and then sew the final 4 patches together. You'll see as I'm going through this, I give a quick finger press to each of the 4-patch units, making sure that I am pressing in opposing directions for the top and the bottom section of the 4-patch, but also that I'm doing the same directions for each little 4-patch unit that I'm creating. That will allow me to spin the seams, which we will get to, and all of our seams will nest nicely for the final construction of the block. Let's sew. With all of our separate little 4-patch units made now, I want to press all of these nicely, and you can see me here just undoing a few of the stitches. I forgot that I had the little connecting thread there. You just undo the stitches above that stitching line on both sides, and then you're able to give the block a little bit of a twist to separate those seams out. And then you press all of your seams in a clockwise direction, and it creates a little 4-patch in the middle there. This is called swirling the seams, and it allows for the flattest possible block with all of the connecting half square triangle units. It'll be more important where we've got the actual edges of the half square triangle rather than the point that we have in this block. So I will show you that once again on this next one, where we do actually have the diagonal of the half square triangle coming to the corner. You just easily unpick the few stitches that are above the stitching line. I said easily. Give the block a little bit of a twist. Sometimes there's one thread just left in there. Have all your seams going in a clockwise direction. I can't remember if I turned this one over to show you the back, but I do assure you that it's very flat. After doing all of that, you may have your pieces a little bit jumbled around, so it's now time to refer back to your pattern and check that you have the layout correct before sewing the final 4-patch together. You will notice here, because of all my pressing and the attention that I took to which way I was doing what, all of my seams nest, and I'll meet you back when we're done. As you would have seen there, folks, I do swirl all of the intersections on the back there, and now as we line these up to do the final seam, we will nest on every single point, so long as when we did the original 4 patches, we paid that attention to which way we were doing the seam allowance. And this, you can then again, once you've sewn this together, swirl all 3 of these seams, and again they will all go in the right directions and give you the flattest block possible. Hopefully I show you the back when we get to the final stage. Let's see. Thanks for joining me again this week, folks. I did see that I did not show you the back of the block, so I went back in the editing and put a freeze frame so that you could see what the effect of the swirling seams is. If you haven't done so already, why don't you consider subscribing to my channel? It's free, but most importantly, click the little notification bell so that you don't miss a thing. I will see you all again next week. Bye for now.